whoa. Did Mamika just, like, blow up? Like, into a nuclear explode? Like, yo, what? That really, wow. When they were talking about, like, magical splash flare, I didn't think it would be, big-ass, like, nuclear explosion. Oh, my God. And Mamika just, like, straight up, she blew up. She blew herself up. Like, she got stabbed multiple times. She was bleeding all over the place. And then, magical splash flare, fucking explosion, episode ends. And I'm like, I was legit looking at my screen like I didn't even know how to process what I just saw. Because, like, one moment, Mamika is talking with the military princess. They're just having a convo and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the military princess gets really pissed off. Draws a bunch of blades, about to just impale Mamika. Mamika gets impaled. You see, like, a sword, like, go through a freaking lung. And then all of a sudden, she's like, magical splash flare, bomb. And I'm like, whoa. Like, yo, like, what? So, Mamika, she's probably dead. Damn. So, let's talk about this for a second. So, this is episode 8. Episode 8, to be exact. And if I'm correct, this series is getting 22 episodes. Now, I honestly figured, you know, the characters wouldn't probably start dying until towards the end, but this episode 8 that Mamika apparently died in. And that's the question I have. If the characters die in our world, are they necessarily dead? Because that's not really been clarified at all. Like, that hasn't been clarified if a character dies, are they dead for good? Or do they go back to the story? Does the story disappear? I mean, there's just so many things I'm curious about. Because from what we know when it comes to the worlds they're from, apparently the world continues going on, and then they just, you know, been taken out of their story. Does the world end over there? Like, does that not happen because they technically are not there anymore? But also, with them being dead as well, like, does it mean, like, they go back to the world, or do they respawn? I mean, there's so many questions I have about death right now when it comes to these characters, because are they permanently dead or not? Does the law of death, like, you know, does that still apply to them? Since they're able to break the very laws of physics itself with some of their powers, does that mean that they technically, some of them might not die in the first place, that they can just keep coming back? I'm curious about that, because that's not really been explained, and we don't really know if Mamika is dead completely yet or not. I mean, from what I see, the way she got stabbed, she's probably dead. Like, the only way, honestly, she probably can be saved is through, like, some form of magical means. So, either she has an ability to heal herself with her magic, like her magical girl abilities, or someone else does in the party, or she's gonna die. One or the other. Or she's gonna respawn somehow. So, that needs some explanation. Like, I need some details on that. But, damn, Mamika possibly dead by episode 8. Didn't think that would probably happen. Holy crap. So, I'm kind of sad. I mean, Mamika dying, that's kind of like the best girl of the series dying, because I really liked her character. At first, I didn't really care much for her, but now, seeing these past couple episodes, her developing what she's been through, and how she, you know, has been changing and going through so much development, and then just taking her own path and doing what she could to understand both sides, it was something that was very, you know, respectful. I could respect her character and be like, holy crap, like, that is awesome to see, like, a magical girl character becoming more like an adult. And now that she's probably dead, I'm like, that kind of sucks, because all this development, now she's dead. That's messed up. Now, I'm going to say right now, most likely, if Mamika is actually dead, I can already see where this plot point is going to go. Because if you look at it, nobody really knows what's going on in that scene. For instance, nobody knows why Mamika was fighting, why the military princess is probably injured or whatever, because of magical splash flare. Nobody really knows, and the only one that could really tell the story is the survivor. And if the military princess is the only survivor, which obviously she will survive, because she has a lot of importance to the main male character, Sota, then we know that there is a potential possibility the military princess could tell a lie to her allies. Like, oh, Mamika was killed thanks to the government, or thanks to, you know, the other creations that are working on the other side. I can see the military princess spinning it like that to where they get really pissed off, or Alice in general gets pissed off. Because we do know that she did have a bond with Mamika. Even in this episode, which Death Flag was raised, she's like, you know, I just wanted to tell you that. Basically, we knew there was a bond there. They both cared or respected each other, and we know Alice cared for Mamika quite a bit, and she was very naive. She knew that, but she cared about her. I mean, she even admitted that. And with Mamika potentially dead, I could see the military princess telling Alice, like, hey, she was killed thanks to the others on the other side, and then you're gonna have it to where she's like, so even a naive girl gets killed like that. It's like a repeat of the past. And I mean, we did even get to see a glimpse, like a flashback of Alice's previous experience in her original world. We see to where people she was trying to save was already dead. These people she cared about. So it shows that she always has had people around her dying. People that she wanted to protect just die around her. These kind individuals. And that's kind of what Mamika's death represents. With her dying, it's basically reconfirming Alice's feelings and what she's been losing constantly in her world. And it's kind of like how this world is very similar to that. She will continuously lose people that she cares deeply about if she doesn't do something for her own reasons. Now, I do like what was said in this episode about Alice's situation and kind of how you can look at it as a brighter side of things. As we see, basically, Alice's world is, like, messed up. It's dark, depressing, so many people have died, it's just a dreadful world, and Alice has been struggling in the darkness to make this world a better place. That's what she has been doing, and that is why she wants to change things. That's her overall motive and objective of why she continues to move forward. Well, because of this, we know that the reason why she was put there, she was a hero in the story. That's how the writing was done. I mean, think about it. When you read a book and all that, and you see this depressing, dark world, and you have a character like Alice inserted into it, she is the hero that was written there to put the world at peace, make sure the world is good once again. And so when it was brought up in this episode, like, obviously the writer wasn't that bad. They didn't want just a completely dreadful world that was completely evil. I mean, look, the writer added you. I mean, the God created you, and you were added to the world to be able to save things. So that's a really interesting way to look at it. Like, how she was added is actually something very good that the creator did. Because if she wasn't there, the world would always be dark and depressing. And everything she has done has had a lot of weight, thanks to the writer doing that for her character in the first place. So that's cool. I like that point of view on that. And I wonder how Alice is going to take that because of how that was done. Because there's not just darkness. She was made in the first place to combat that darkness. Now, the only person I could see that only added a hero into the story just to make him suffer would probably be Kentaro that writes Berserk. Because, I mean, we know for a fact Guts' ending is not going to be a happy one. I mean, it's kind of obvious by now. So, because of that, I feel like the only writer that probably doesn't really want his hero to actually be happy is probably Kentaro, because that man, that's fucked up what he's done to, you know, Guts. So, I mean, besides Guts in general, I feel like when a creator writes a hero into the story, it's because they want a happy ending. They want to change things for good, and that's kind of what's happening here. So, like I said, cool stuff with Alice. I wonder where that's going to go, but it's an obvious setup for the military princess to manipulate Alice because of Mamika's death. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about Sota for a second. So Sota is officially revealed to have a connection with, you know, the military princess. We found out in last week's episode, but it's officially confirmed, like, the nitty-gritty details. Not completely, but a lot of details are explained. And basically, it's what we kind of all assumed and all that, with a little bit of extra depth to it. But still, the point stands is that Sota is still withholding information from his allies. Now, I personally haven't been through the exact same thing Sota has been through. I personally just can't understand his feelings, and I mean, I probably would say it would have been better if the writers would have dived into that more and made it to where I could understand it maybe a little bit, but they didn't do that, which kind of makes it to where Sota's character, I still can't really completely agree with him and his actions overall, because he's holding information back that's very vital, very important, and like I said, he's going through a difficult time, and it's a very touchy subject in his his life. And I mean, if you have something in your history or your life and you don't really want to talk about it and all that, I can understand why. I can understand that. Maybe, even if, you know, it's important for others to know, I can see why you wouldn't want to talk about it, because it's a touchy subject. It has a lot of weight. It holds a lot of weight and burden on your heart, and you just don't want to bring that up and start talking about it. And it would also make people view you in a different light, something that you would not want people to view you in. And so I can understand why Sota would withhold information. However, I still can't agree with his actions because of the weight of it and what has been shown thus far. So, because of that, I'm like, why, Sota? Why do you continue to hold information back? And because of him holding information back has led him into a situation to where now he is being blackmailed, and basically he's working with, like, the main villain behind the scenes. Not the military princess, but her name is Magane. I think that's how you say her name. Basically, he's working with her now, and she has him basically by a leash because he can't do anything now because he's being blackmailed, and he doesn't want anyone to know, but she knows, and obviously he's going to try to keep that hush-hush. And thanks to Mamika being dead now, basically the only one that knows anything about Sota is, you know, Magane. And so, it's not like, you know, Mamika could come and explain this or let anyone know, so it really makes Sota look kind of like a bad person, because, I mean, now that she knows about it, he's being blackmailed, basically. And when they do eventually find out, which it will happen, eventually our characters will find out about Sota's combo with Magane and how he was revealing information and holding information back. It's not going to be good, because they're going to look at him like he's a traitor or something, someone that's working with the enemy side, and he's not really a good person at all, and that's probably going to, you know, add into some conflict in the future, in future episodes of Recreators. So yeah, that's probably going to happen. Anyways, though, the overall Sota plot point and line going on right now, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, I know Sota's very important, just there needs to be a little bit more details there, because I still can't agree with him holding everything back because of just plot convenience. It just makes me kind of annoyed. Okay, so what else do I need to talk about? Let's see. Oh yes, we have it to where a bunch of other, you know, creators pop up and all that, basically to, you know, seek protection or, you know, give him protection. And the final boss character, he gets to meet his creator, and he's like, you're not what I expected. I thought, you know, you'd be kind of a better person, but no, you weren't that. And he was basically about to beat the shit out of his own creator, which is understandable. I mean, if your creator was kind of a scumbag and all that, not really a good guy, didn't care about people at all, obviously you would kind of want to, you know, hit your creator or do something to him. And so that was pretty interesting when he did that. Also, when the other creator, he was like, hey, you know, just leave his hand and make sure his head and hand is fine, his right hand is fine. Basically kind of summarizes how he also feels about that dude, but also exactly, like, kind of, you could do whatever you want. Like, you know, break his legs, whatever, you know, could break his ribs, just make sure his hand and head is fine for he can continue doing his work. That was pretty messed up, but it just shows the relationship those two characters have before, you know, the creation started coming into our world. But that's about it. I mean, overall, the episode of Recreators, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. There was some things like the Sota stuff I wasn't the biggest fan of, but overall, it was a great episode. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.